you remind me of?
What?
What you read to me? Yeah. No fear. I mean, really, no fear. If I could have that half of my life, no fear. That's the closest way, that's the only way I can describe it. That's not all of it, but it is something to really, really feel.
I want to talk just a little bit about why we're here, okay? Nothing in my mind could you be doing that's more important than what's getting ready to happen here in the next few minutes that we share together. Okay, that's not speaking arrogantly. That's about expressing with a passion what I believe is going to happen here and the positive impact that it's going to have on your life. So I'm excited about what's getting ready to happen here. I'm excited about you being here, and I'm excited about what you're going to do as a result of what's being done here. Is that all right? Nobody mad at me, right? Okay, how y'all feeling? Make some noise. Y'all went out last night, didn't you? Some of y'all drank a little bit. Hey, but okay, we were here last year. D-Square, I think that this marks somewhere around their anniversary, their first year anniversary in business. That deserves an applause. Am I close, yo? Because what we did last year, we were at their grand opening and we did a presentation that was similar to this, okay? And we called it last year, Living Your Best Life. We called last year, Living Your Best Life. This year, we want to talk about the laws that govern life. Okay, we want to talk about life, we want to talk about laws that govern life, because we want you to understand that having a good life is not an accident. You don't accidentally have a good life. And we want to talk a little bit about how that happens. So what we did, a tag team with my baby girl. This is Shari King, that's Shari Nicole, that's little baby Shay right there. That's my baby girl right there. And Shari does a mentoring program along with a number of other things, but I wanted her to share for a moment because she spoke last year about what was going on in her life and how she dealt with it with using the information that we're going to share with you today, and where she is now and what's going on in her life right now and what she has learned from then to now a little bit. So if you guys will put your hands together for Shay, I'd appreciate it. She's going to share a word or two with you.
Hi guys. Yes, like Dad said, we spoke last year. We talked a lot about living your best life. The irony of that is that I was in such a transitional period in my life, trying to really see where I was going, what could happen. At that time, I was a sales representative by occupation. That is not my lane. However, that was the foot in the door to a lot better. We spoke a lot on being in control of your thoughts and understanding that your thought becomes your reality. And when he says that your good days, your good life is not by accident, that is the proof that you are creating your life every single day by the things that you are thinking and the things that are coming out of your mouth. So for that, I love to be a living testimony of the things that we talk about on a regular basis. Like I said, just last year, at this time, I was doing a sales representative job. Right now, I'm doing dual positions for the same company as project manager, customer service manager, and I'm over our QA department. So,
y'all make some noise. Let's go from the bottom to the top, y'all.
And a lot of that came from me being able to change my thought process. I was extremely defeated with leaving the bank. I did not know what I needed to be doing, but I knew that there was a lot more that needed to be done. So I had to stop thinking from a place of defeat and start telling myself that I was already there. And the things that I wanted, I had to call those things out. I told my job months ago that I am going to sit on their executive board. And I'm still in that process. And I've gone through all the steps to be able to do that. But that came from me believing in those thoughts that this is what I could do. And then the work and the actions just followed. This is what I am going to do. So naturally, I started to do everything I needed to do to be able to make those things a reality. Also, I'm currently enrolled in a data analytics program at WashU. This program is kicking my butt, but I'm however, when I found the program, I was super excited about it, and I filled out all the information, and they sent me back. They were like, "You're approved, and the only thing it's going to be is a $10,000 enrollment fee." I'm like, what? Who is going to pay that? But I kept going. I never stopped. I'm like, it's going to happen. I'm going to get this done. So I reached out to my job. I let them know that I was really interested in doing this program. I think it could further my career with the company. And one of the owners was like, I'm gonna have to get these other 3 owners to buy into this. Throughout this process, I never stopped. I'm still submitting work. I'm taking ID pictures. I'm taking the test because I'm like, I'm going to do this program. I don't care what it takes for me to be able to do it. It's going to happen. So he came back and he said, we'll pay the down payment, which was $2,500, and then can you see about maybe paying monthly on it, which had to be paid in 6 months. That was enough. But thank you. I can't afford that. I wasn't in a position to do it. But throughout the process, I'm steady telling myself, Shay, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this program. This is gonna happen. I kept doing everything I needed to do. I had all my paperwork submitted. I was ready for the first day of class. Didn't I have a clue how I was getting ready to pay for it. One of the owners texted me about 8 o'clock in the morning. He said, we're gonna cover the cost of that program for you. No strings attached, because we know that this is something that you really want, and we know that it will benefit the company as well as you. Being in control of your thoughts, making sure that you are calling out the things that you want to see happen is very important. We tell ourselves everything else except for that sometimes that we're not having a good day, that we're not living our best lives. We're not waiting for these things to happen. This is things that can happen right now. We're not waiting to get to a point where life is great. Life is great right now, and you have to make that decision and determination every morning when you wake up that you are going to have the best day that you can possibly have today. Don't prolong your happiness. Don't push it off. Be happy right now, and be in control of the situation. Don't give your power away. Don't give things in your life, situations, circumstances, control over your life. You have to be in control of that. You only give life to things that you give it to. If something is going on in your life, you always have to be able to see the good in it. Everything is working in your favor. It's all good. Even when it seems like it's not, it is all working for the best. So, once you be able to get that.
Hey, that's my baby, y'all. That little Shay right there. We call her Woo, Shay Woo. That's little Woo right there. I want y'all to also know that in addition to that, Shari is in a full-time relationship. She's a full-time mom, and she is, like she said, she is an executive at her company while going to school. And the reason that I'm making emphasis of that is that I run into a lot of people every day on a regular basis that believe that they're overworked and got overwhelmed and got too much to do. Okay? So I don't think that anybody who's doing anything that's having an impact in their lives has a bunch of time on their schedule that's open.
That's right.
So you gotta understand that when you are doing and living your dream, that you're gonna be busy. Okay? So give Shay a round of applause. I appreciate her sharing with us. But I also want y'all to know, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? Okay, all right, because I read statistics. I look at statistics. I'm in behavioral and social sciences myself. I study human behavior, and this is what it's all about for me. And I read some research that says that most people on average have about a 7-second attention span. So in the time that we have spent together just now in the last 30 minutes, y'all done left me a whole bunch of times. Y'all wondering right now, wondering if they turned off the coffee pot. See, they trying to figure out, Emma trying to remember who she's supposed to call this afternoon and if she talked to them people she was supposed to call. You all take mental trips, and I'm aware of that, right? I'm aware of how that happens. So what I want to do is like every 7 seconds or so is just interject something that you might get before you take a trip. Okay? Because I know it's going to happen, even when you don't want it to. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to tell you what I'm up against right now. I'm going to tell you what I'm up against right now. Let me see. Who's got a good calculator on their phone? You got a good calculator? Y'all got them smartphones? Somebody got a good calculator on their phone, because I need y'all to do some math for me. Not the kind of math where you're going to get graded on it, because that makes black people nervous. Brother Elan, we don't want to talk about STEM, do we? We don't want to talk about those science programs and all the math and none of that. We steer away from that. We talk about basketball, but we're not going to talk about something that we think is challenging, but we're doing better. We're going to get there. All right, anybody, you got your calculator ready, somebody? Okay, here's what I want y'all to know. There's some research that's out there that says exactly this. It says exactly this. That we, on average, have between 60 and 70,000 thoughts a day. Between 60 and 70,000 thoughts a day. Put that in the calculator. I don't care which number you use, 60 or 70, something like that. I want that to be the first number. Okay? Now, if we have between 60 and 70,000 thoughts a day, G, get this. Of those 60 or 70,000 thoughts, 95 to 98% of them are the same thoughts we had the previous day. Same thoughts. We have 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. Over 90% of them are the same thought that we had the previous day. Okay, now get this. This is what knocked my socks off. This is the part that really blew my mind. Of those 90 plus thoughts that we have that are recurring every day, you're thinking the same thing over and over and over again every day, over 85% of those 98% of those 60 to 70,000 thoughts that we think every day, over 85% of them are negative. Over 85% of them are negative, right? Okay, so let's work with the small number. 60,000. Put 60,000 in, right? That's for one day. How many days in a month? Let's go with 30, 31? 30? We're doing now. Okay, I want you to do 60,000 times 30. That'll give us a month, right? All right, and then I want you to times that times 12. That'll give us a year, right? I need my teachers in the back to help me, am I right? We okay so far? Y'all looking like, yeah. Getting in some deep water now. Okay, so we had a year, right? Okay, let's say that everybody in this room is 25 years old. So for the last, let's times that number, times 25. We're going to times that yearly number times 25. All right, now whoever did this, whoever's doing this, what number you got? Is it a number you can say?
540 billion.
Ooh-wee.
Costs.
540 billion with a B?
With a B.
With a B as in boy. Over the last 25 years, if we do 80% of that, times 0.80, right?
Yep. 432 billion.
432 billion of your 5 billion thoughts in the last 25 years have been negative. Now, if there's any truth to this, and I believe it is, how much negative thinking momentum do you think we have right now?
Ha. Quite a bit.
Because some of y'all might be 26. I'm just saying. Some of y'all might have made it to 26. So if you 50, double that number. Okay? So what I'm trying to say to you is I understand that right now, some of y'all are sitting here, one or two of y'all are sitting here looking at me right now saying, I wish this nigga would shut the hell up. You can't help it. You didn't want to say that. You didn't want to say that. But you got so much negative momentum going on in your mind right now that it is almost impossible for you to maintain a positive thought for any length of time. This is why change is so hard for you. How many of y'all said, I ain't gonna eat no sugar this week? How many of y'all said, I'm gonna start an exercise program tomorrow? And we still waiting on tomorrow to get here, right? See, what I want to do is ease your pain. I want to back up off of that a little bit and help you to understand why you haven't been able to keep those kind of things going on. Because you've got a negative momentum that's like a tsunami in your mind that when you put a positive thought in there, there are 4 billion thoughts that are wiping it out. Come on now. Everybody all right? Can you see why you've been mad all day? Can you see why it's easy for people to upset you? Okay, now, let's reinforce that with how many of y'all watch the news in the morning? How much of that is positive? See, how many of y'all watch Ghost and Atlanta Housewives? And all that other positive stuff that's out there, right? How many of y'all are listening to songs that say, I can't wait for my greatness to shine through? Well, they don't even have a song like that, do they? If they do, it's on gospel, right? Yeah. And here's the numbers game with the gospel part of it. Unless you ride with gospel every day, if you only go to church once a week and it's 7 days in a week, you got a 6 to 1 chance that you're not going to be gospel filled throughout the week. Make sense? Because the majority of what you're taking in, the majority of the information that you are receiving is going to be what? Negative. So we live in a negative society because this is just not, see, this is the only people in the world that are not under this umbrella. Everybody else out there, those numbers were for them. I know it's a positive room right here.
That's right.
See? So what's going on is I want to bring you or help you to see why things are happening the way they're happening in your life, right? Okay, so we understand that we programmed ourselves to be negative and we continue to feed on negative information. How many of y'all got positive people you work with? How many of y'all got more negative people you work with than positive? How many of y'all not going to raise your hand because you're thinking negatively about what might happen if you do? See how your mind work? See how your mind work? I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to wait and see where he's going with this before I get involved. See, how come we give the weather report as it's going to be partly cloudy? If it's partly cloudy, it's mostly sunny, right? I mean, it's more sunny than cloudy because it's partly cloudy. See, how many of you all believe when things are going well in your life that something got to go wrong because this is too good to be true? You ever heard that statement? So if we look at that statement, good things in your life and truth can't go together. So if good things and truth don't go together, then what does go together? Bad things, right? Do you remember you meet that boyfriend and you tell your girlfriend, girl, I just met this dude, he seemed super good. I know something wrong though. I know something wrong though. Because he too good to be true. He got too much going on, too much right. This can't work out, right? Okay, you go to do the job interview. And you go to lunch with your friend after you've done the job interview. You say, I just applied for X and X or so-and-so company or whatever, and I put in the application and all that, but they probably ain't gonna call me. What's your expectation? See, if your expectations come from your thoughts and your thoughts are 80% negative, then what are the chances you're gonna have a positive expectation from a negative thought? Is that even possible? So you're expecting negativity in your life. How many of y'all over at an age where you were told you're supposed to have a physical every so often? You get around 40 years old, y'all might not be old enough for this, but you get around 40 years old and they say you're supposed to have physical every year, right? Then you go to the doctor expecting a good report. How many of y'all go to the doctor to see what's wrong? Come on now. I'm just being real with you. Are you going to the doctor with the expectation that when I walk in here, this doctor's getting ready to tell me that everything is right? Or are you going into the doctor's office with the expectation that I hope he don't find nothing wrong? Where you at? See? Where are you? See, only you know the answer to this question. And if what this is all about, see, here's what this is all about. Right now, I'm going to ask you a question, right? Nikisha, I can do this because I know you can handle it, right? Okay, here we go. Here's what I want to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question, and then there's going to be a reward for your answer. Right now, what you thinking?
What's the question?
I hope you don't put me on the spot in a negative way, right? You all right? You want to know what the question is? Are you worried about if you can answer it or not? You don't feel that it don't matter because you're a soldier. You got this, and you do. All right, question I want to ask you is, who's buried in Grant's tomb? Was that a trick question, y'all? Who's buried in Grant's tomb? Grant would have to be buried in Grant's tomb, isn't that right? Yeah, that's true. I like the confidence you spoke that on, Grant. I like the way you came with that. But for that answer, I'm going to give you 25. Here you go, right here. That's 25 right there. 25 pennies. I just gave her 25 pennies for that correct answer, right? Okay, now let me ask you, I'm just messing with you. You know I love you, Nikisha. I just want to prove a point. Okay, I just gave her a quarter, right? All right, 25 cents. How many people know in this room 25 cents won't buy you a lot today? All right. So, Nikisha, would you say that I just gave you a really good gift?
It's a blessing. It's something I didn't have before.
I love her. It's a blessing. Something that I didn't have before. Wouldn't you be as blessed if I had given you $100 as you are with the 25? All right.
You could have gave me nothing, and it's still something. It's knowledge. It's an exchange.
It's a knowledge exchange, and you appreciate the knowledge exchange. Gwen, would that 25 have had to say, oh yeah, that's true, y'all. Give her a round of applause. Great answer. Great answer. All right, Gwen, would that quarter have given you the same thought?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so is everybody in the room, because she got that right, gonna say the same thing, right? You count your blessings. All right. Every one of them. If you got a penny, it's the same as $1 million. How many of y'all believe that? A penny the same as $1 million? I wholeheartedly disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. I'm not as Christian as this table right here. I haven't received my blessing on that level yet. I do understand the sentiment. I do understand the sentiment. Thank you. That's my wife, Vicky. I want to thank her too. I didn't thank my wife while we were doing the thank yous. I didn't thank her while we were doing the thank yous, but you guys are dealing with me for about an hour or whatever. She got to do life with me. Can you imagine that? She deserves a hug. Y'all give her a hug when y'all get a chance. Because she got to do life with me. She got to listen to this every day, right? Okay, so what I want to say to you is whatever your experience of the quarter is, or the penny, or the blessings that you get every day, those that have not spiritually grown to the level where you all are, like myself, those that are viewing this in a different way, what determines each of our experience in life is the way we think about it. Okay? That's the point I wanted to prove with that. It's the way we think about it. They are just as happy with a penny, nothing, or $1 million as I would be if I had a couple $1 billion. Because I'm not on, see, my view of that is a little different. So my experience with the quarter would not have been as wonderful as yours. See, but it didn't change anything because it wasn't a quarter. And it's not the $1 billion. Because there are people with a quarter that can be happy, and there are people with $1 billion that can be what? So it's not a quarter or the $1 billion, it's what?
The person.
It's the way they think about it, right? Okay, so now with that understanding, how many of you all believe that you have a personality? All of us believe we have personalities. What I want to do is tell you what. Let me back up and say this first. If I say anything while I'm talking, I want y'all to know that this is interactive. You don't have to treat this like a classroom. If I'm saying something, you disagree with it. I'm saying something that you want to ask a question about. If I'm saying something, you can feel free to interact with me. So, but if your personality, how many of you believe you're born with your personality? But Graham believes we're born in our personality. I want to give you, got a question.
So my thoughts on that is that you're born with the blueprint of your personality. I think that we're all born with a certain personality traits, and as we grow older through our experiences, those we either add to our personality in a positive way or a negative way. But I do think that environment has a lot to do with that as we grow older.
All right, y'all give her a round of applause. I want y'all to be comfortable talking with each other. Okay, so it's the nature-nurture factor, right? Okay, all right. So what I want to do is share a thought about that, because what I'm talking about is life laws, right? I'm talking about laws that govern life. And even though there are more than the one that I'm going to speak of today, the one that I have picked to speak on today comes right out of, let me see. Anybody, I want y'all to Google this for me. Somebody, Gwen, you might know this by heart. Proverbs 23:7. Somebody tell me what that says. Proverbs 23:7. Now, this is not a religious conversation because I don't want you non-religious people to get nervous. But I just want to use this as a point of reference because I believe y'all old enough where y'all went to church with your grandmother every now and then and y'all still got some respect for the scriptures. But this is not a religious conversation. Proverbs, you got it? Oh, okay. Okay. Everybody got it?
Yep.
Who's got it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, hold on. What does it say?
You're gonna have to give me your glasses. I can't see.
How'd you find Proverbs?
Because I can see that was big. It says, or as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. That's from the King James.
All right, y'all give her a round of applause for doing a nice job, for doing that. Okay, now what I want to deal with, because the law that I chose to speak about today is, and this is one of the most impactful laws that, as if you can accept what I'm about to say about this, will have a tremendous positive impact on your life. As a man thinks, so he is. Okay, so let's look at this from a mathematical point of view. Shay, hold this board for me because it's gonna move. She's one of the best board holders I've ever met. Y'all give her a round of applause. All right, in math, what does the equal sign represent? Maybe maybe that question is not clear. What's on this side of the equal sign is the same thing that's on this side of the equal sign. Is that right? Everybody good with that? Okay. Well, let's put thinking on this side of the equal sign. Now, what she just read was, as a man thinketh, which means that this is continually, right? As you continue to think, whatever you're thinking, it is, right? So is right here. Y'all still with me? We still good? That's not too much math, is it? All right, we good. All right, now what I want to say is every thought that you're thinking, if you accept that as a truth, means that it is coming into your reality as you think it. So what you're thinking is. How many of you expect to get a good parking space? The people that expect to get parking spaces, how many of y'all find them? How many of y'all think that's an accident? See, I don't believe in accidents, coincidences, or serendipity. I believe that life operates under laws. How many of you all have pet names for your significant other? We got some relationships in trouble in here. But your pet name came from a thought, right? And if you use, I'm going to give you this, I'm not going to charge you for this part of it. If you're using a loving pet name, okay, whenever you're thinking about that pet name and you call your significant other by that pet name, what's going to happen is a positive experience in your relationship, right? Now, the proof of what I'm saying is whenever you get into an argument with your significant other, guess what you don't use? That pet name. That's what don't happen. Is the pet name. Now, you can argue with Maurice if that's your significant other's name, but you won't argue with Boo Boo. And why won't you argue with Boo Boo? Because your thoughts will not allow that to be. See, you've got to change it to something that will allow what's on this side of the equation to equal your experience on this side of the equation. Does that make sense? That makes sense? When you all walked into this room today, you had a thought about what was going to happen here. And that thought, unless you change it, is equal to the experience you're having. If you came in saying, boy, I hope this don't be long and drawn out, that's going to affect what happens over here. If you walked into this room and said, boy, I don't know why I agreed to come to this when I should be doing X, Y, Z, that's going to affect what happens over here. Okay? So as you think, so you are. Yes? All right.
And in my training, construction, there are things that we say are not accidents. They're not such accidents. Preventive accidents. They're incidents. And every time we meet somebody, it's an incident. It's a positive incident. You have to think in that manner. Because if you go to work in my field and think about something going to happen to you, it will happen to you. And I've heard horror stories about men losing limbs, arms, and eyes. But my training has been taught to me in a positive way that when I go to work, I don't go the same way I went in, whole. and this thing, my job, I'm the president, I'm going to say the same thing all the time when we start work. Be blessed and highly favored.
I love it. So he, like myself, does not believe in accidents. There are incidents, and those incidents come as a result of the way that you think. How many of you guys have heard of Rene Descartes? In Searching for his philosopher. It's no big deal if you haven't. No, it's not a trick question or anything like that. I just wanted to see if you had heard of him. If you've heard of him, he says that I know that I exist. The reason I know that I exist is because I think, therefore I am. Meaning that everything, the only way that he knows that anything is real is in thought. What you think about. Let me just say this to you. Let me say this to you, Elaine. Everything in this room was once a what? Absolutely correct, a thought. I love the way you think. Everything in this room, the chair came from a thought. The table came from a thought. This wall came from a thought. Those alphabets came from a thought. Everything in this room came from a thought. You live in a world that is nothing more than your interaction with the thoughts that have been thought or people have thought about previous to you enjoying the thought that they brought into existence as now your reality. Your car was once a thought.
Does that make sense?
Alright, okay, now I don't want to hurt nobody, but your bad relationship is based on your what? Your inability to find a significant other is based on your what? The reason your bank account looks like it does is because of what? I didn't say that it's wrong with none of that. You may have the perfect person, the biggest bank account in the world. But all of the point that I want to make is that everything that is existing in your life right now is based on your... All right, so let me ask you this. Whatever is going on in your life, that's a result of your thoughts. And now that you understand that your experience in life is based on the way that you think, then how many people know that somebody else can't make you mad?
Come on now.
That's the truth, right?
Are y'all all right? Somebody else can't make you mad. Why? Because you in charge of your thoughts, right? And in order for you to be mad, it has to be a decision to think in a way that allows you to be mad, right? Just like boo-boo. If you thinking boo-boo thoughts, mad is not the other side of this equation, right? You got to be thinking loving thoughts when you're thinking about boo-boo. Yes, sir?
I was just going to say, that's an inside job.
It's an inside job. Whether you're mad or not is entirely up to you. You all right, Brother Bill? Good. All right. I heard some noise over there. But I want you all to understand, because I'm driving this point home, because most people believe that life is happening to them. I want you to understand when you leave here that life is happening through you. You hear the difference? Most people believe that life is happening to them. I hope when I walk in this room, don't nobody make me mad. Because they know I hate when they do that thing that makes me mad. And let me tell you this. While we sharing, because we family, right? While we sharing, I want you to know that your significant other cannot upset you without your thoughts that equal what upset looks like to you. Let me give you an example of that. Let's say that I cut my finger. I cut my finger is bleeding. Let's say that Vicky walks in the room and asks me what's going on. And I say, well, my finger is cut. And she said, okay. She goes in the other room, grabs some Band-Aids and puts it on her finger. Vicky goes in the other room. My finger's bleeding. I'm hurt. I cut my finger. Vicky goes in the other room, grabs some Band-Aids, puts the Band-Aid on her finger. Did that help me? That didn't help me, did it, Larry? That help me? You don't, my sister, did that help me? For my wife to put the Band-Aid on her finger when my finger is cut, right? Who needs the Band-Aid? So how does her behavior impact my need for a Band-Aid? It doesn't, does it? But why do I say, baby, if you love me, you will do certain things? How many of you all been in a relationship and you explain to your significant other what it is that you like and dislike? And when they do those things that you dislike, it makes you what? And that means that they cannot love you, because if they loved you, they wouldn't do those things, right? When you leave here today, I want you to recognize that that line of reasoning, that way of thinking is the same as you cutting your finger and expecting your significant other to put on a Band-Aid. It has the same usefulness. Vern, you with me? All right, you all right? I ain't upset you then. All right. Hey, I just want you, are y'all all right? Anybody got a question about that? Because this is super important. Okay. How many of y'all go to Disney World and expect Disney World to provide a good time? You paid all your money. When you get there, you expect Disney World to provide a good time, right? Absolutely wrong. Because if you go to Disney World in the wrong frame of mind, guess what kind of experience you're going to have at Disney World? Your Disney World experience is going to match the thoughts that you bring to Disney World. Is that right, G? You was in the right frame of mind. I've seen parents whoop their children at Disney World. Can you imagine getting a whooping at Disney World? Now, we're in a place that's supposed to be the greatest place of employment on the planet, and somebody getting a whooping at Disney World, because your mentality is determining your reality. Okay? Yes, sir.
I got a question.
Go right ahead.
I've listened for a while. And
You did.
I'm trying to figure out. Basically, are you saying you get out of life what you give?
I'm saying exactly that what you think is producing what you're getting.
So you got to get it, right?
I would agree that what you think about is going to cause action. I'm looking at action. I'm looking at giving as an action word. So your actions from your thoughts are going to produce something that's equal to your thoughts. Yes.
Okay, and to add on to that, Clay, check this out. Okay, so you brought up two examples. You know, the Band-Aid on your wife's finger instead of your ass bleeding.
Yes.
Okay. And then you talk about the kid that gets beat at Disneyland. The question is, what if it's the other behavior that's not there, even though you're positive attitude is what you want, but if the other behavior is what it is.
Yes.
So how do you deal with that?
Somebody else's behavior? Okay, let me make sure I understand the question.
So both of those examples.
This is what I heard. If you're in a positive frame of mind and somebody else is acting in a negative way, you have no control over that. So, because they're acting in a negative way, they're impacting your positive frame of mind. Is that?
And I'm trying to be positive.
And you're trying to be positive. All right. Now, let me ask you guys a question.
You can use that in a relationship, wife, marriage, kids.
Okay. In a relationship, if you want to have a loving, caring relationship where you and your wife are interacting on the best level possible with each other, and you're in your loving state of mind, but your wife is doing that thing that absolutely drives you crazy. My question for you is, who's defining your wife's behavior to you?
You are.
The behavior that you think is absolutely terrible is defined by who?
You.
It's defined by you, right? Okay, so if you define this behavior as absolutely terrible, when you tell your wife several times, baby, I hate it or dislike it when you do that thing that you know I believe is absolutely terrible, right? And if she loved you, she wouldn't do that thing that was absolutely terrible, because people who love one another don't do things that make the other upset, right? All right. What's the difference in that scenario and me cutting my finger? Because I got the problem with what she's doing, right? My finger's cut. But I need her to do something in order for me to feel better. That's the problem. If I change the way that I look at what she's doing or the way that I think about what she's doing, then what she's doing has a different impact on me. Is that right or wrong? Who's in control of whether or not I change my thing? So I change the experience by changing my what? I'm only responsible for whose experience of life? Get it? Does that make sense? You want something? Okay. Everybody okay? Anybody got a question about that?
Well, I'm kind of piggybacking a little bit off of his.
Well, piggyback. We don't eat pork in here, but you can veggie back. I'm just kidding, kid. I tear bacon up. I tear some pork chops up. Yeah.
I'm just looking at what he's saying. What if you brought that person to a setting that you thought was going to, let's say you take this setting.
Yes.
And all of a sudden that person is acting outside of what you consider the normal, what should be normal in this setting.
Yes.
How do you react to the point that you're trying to show, that you don't agree with that action, but at the same time trying to allow them to look and observe and become, neutralize themselves? I mean, because that's a little more difficult. I mean, if you bring someone or you're with someone and they're acting up like that, but if anybody else, I don't know you, if you're acting that way, I just will brush it off.
No, these are intimate relationships, right? Yeah. And this person is operating in a way that you have defined as inappropriate.
Yes.
Right? So when you define something as however you define it, your definition determines your experience. Right?
So you're saying I need to label it a different way?
Well, if you start with the fact that I can't control anybody else's behavior, then that automatically puts some separation between what they do and how you feel about it. But if you go even further than that and say, not only can I not determine this person's behavior, I'm going to drop a nugget on you right here. Get ready, Emma, this nugget is coming. I'm dropping a nugget. You will only see in life what you look for. This is a truth that you can live with. You will only see. The only people who think that their children are bad running around the restaurant see the bad children running around the restaurant. Have you ever looked for your keys and they were in your pocket? They're in your pocket, but you're looking for them. How many of you know you will never find something that you don't believe is there? If you believe it's lost, you'll never find what's lost. You make sense? Okay, so this person's inappropriate behavior is something that you're focusing on because you have defined a proper way of behavior through your definition, not saying that it's wrong, of how people should act in a certain setting. And because they're not acting the way you think they should, your finger is cut, but you put the Band-Aid on them. You see what I'm saying? So what we got to do is stop expecting other people to put the Band-Aid on their finger when our finger is cut. Let me give you another thing. This is really quick. I want to say two more things I got to figure out. Okay, we still good. We still good. Y'all all right? Okay, can I go on? Okay, because y'all been doing good. Y'all been doing good. Okay, I'm going to give you something else. And since this has gone this direction, I'm going to use what I'm talking about, your thinking and your life experience. What's on this side is going to equal this side. What I want to say to you is in every relationship that you have in your life, and especially the intimate relationships that you have in your life, the reason that I believe we have a 50% divorce rate or higher in the United States is because we have been given bad information about what relationships are about and the purpose of relationships. How many of you have ever heard when you're in love with somebody, you should spend all your time trying to make them happy? And if they love you, they should spend all their time trying to make you happy. That's what loving people do. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to say that about the happiness thing. People are not responsible for your happiness. You determine whether you're happy or not. You can continue.
All right. The young lady, give her a round of applause for her input into this dialogue, right? Because she said that people are responsible for their own happiness, right? Yes, sir.
I just want to say, happiness is an inside job.
Happiness is an inside job. Again, now, if this is true, and if we accept this as a reality for us in our lives, then why would you argue with anybody? What is the basis of your argument? If your happiness has nothing to do with what somebody else is doing, and their happiness has nothing to do with what you're doing or not doing, then what causes the argument?
Ego.
Expectation.
And your expectation comes from what?
I mean, what you think
Your ego.
What you think somebody else should be doing.
another person should be doing or should say.
I think that's a common thought.
Yeah.
I think most people think other people should react, act a way that they act and feel. Why are you acting up when I don't act up? I don't, why are you acting? I think that's a kind of normal thought.
Right. When they act up, how do you feel?
If I'm a guy who mans up and borrows money from you, and then you turn around and don't pay me back money that you borrowed from me, I
Right.
got a problem with that because me, as a person, I would man up and pay you.
That's right.
So.
That's right. That's what we're responsible people do, right? What's your definition of manhood? Rhetorical question. I'm not looking for an answer. But your definition of manhood and what men do
Normal.
causes that behavior to cause you a problem.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's say that you had a definition of manhood that said people do things that they do and what they do has nothing to do with me.
I believe that.
Would you still have the same problem when they do something?
That's because I would initially think that I really can't control what they are because that's what they are. And I gotta accept that because I can't change that. It's not my job to be changing you as a personality or behavior. It's my behavior that controls me.
That's exactly right. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And I think, when we were talking about, I think all that goes back to that environmental piece, how we were raised. I think when we engage in relationships, I think that we treat our significant others the way that we saw our parents treat one another. So I think that we are more connected to our environment than we may want to give credit to. But I'm really a firm believer that we are products of our environment. And that we do have opportunities to change some things, but there are some things that our parents instilled in us that we are just not going to change. A man should pay the bills. If you were raised in a household where your father paid the bills, as a woman, the expectation is that my husband is going to pay the bills because in my reality, that's what a husband should do. So I think that we have to continue to take a deeper look into our own self and realize, this is the way that I was raised. And sometimes we may have to make compromises because everybody wasn't raised the same. And I think when we don't make those compromises, or when we don't have those non-negotiables on the table, then we become unhappy because we're looking for that relationship that we saw our parents have. And that may not be possible with the individual that you want to be with. So you have to have those non-negotiables. So if you need a husband that's going to pay the bills, take care of the home, and wash your car, then that should be a non-negotiable versus getting with an individual that you know up front is not going to do those things. Not to say that that's not a man or that that's not a good individual. That's just not what that individual was taught or taught as a child. So I think we just need to be true to ourselves and really write a list of what our negotiable, non-negotiables are.
All right. You all give Angie another round of applause for her input. Okay. Now, she talked about non-negotiables, and if you can find a person who fits your non-negotiables, then you, if I heard that right, are more on the right track to a better relationship.
Some things are negotiable, but we all have those non-negotiables, and a lot of times.
Those things that you just will not. I draw the line right here.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, I have absolutely no problem with that. But what I want to say to you is the non-negotiables that you have are a product of your thought process. A non-negotiable, in some sense, has the feeling of this is a concrete behavior that I refuse or cannot change. I want to put out here very specifically because I just want to share this thought with you. There is no such thing in your life that you cannot change. And with that, Larry, I'm coming right there. I just want to throw this out real quick. I want to give you guys a formula. I want to give you something to work with. This T stands for thinking. It stands for your thoughts. Okay? Your thoughts are going to produce feelings. Based on your thoughts, you're going to have feelings. Based on your feelings, your thoughts are actually I included the W because based on your thinking, producing feelings is going to produce things that you say. Based on your thoughts, your feelings, your words are going to produce certain actions. Based on your thoughts, your feelings, your words, your behavior is going to produce the P, which is what you consider to be your personality. Now, if you buy this formula, and I hope you will, because it'll have a tremendous positive impact on your life. If you buy this formula, what was at the beginning of your personality? So your thoughts are producing your feelings are producing the words you say, and the behavior as a result. That's producing your personality, and that's going to equal your personal view of reality. Now, what Angie just described to us was her personal view of reality. Her thought is that there should be non-negotiables in a relationship, as she described it, right? Okay. That causes her to feel a certain way. When she feels the way that comes from those thoughts, she's going to speak to this person and say, here are my non-negotiables. Okay? And then I expect your behavior to match my thinking. Because my thinking has produced my personality. And how many of you say, my personality is who I am? How many of you identify with your personality? We keep it 100 in the hood, right? We 100. We gonna be 100. Boy, you the same as you was in grade school. You my boy. You my boy. You ain't changed a bit. And we hug on that when you should punch me in the eye. Because if I'm still the same person that you knew in grade school and sculling schoolyard, then there's something going wrong with one of us.
We all do.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to finish this and take it. I know Larry's got something to say.
I go back as far as, I look at us, but in the book they talk about us being tribal, and what that means to me is we adapt to people of our likeness, we can agree with to prove a point, I'll get closer to you, and we'll find something wrong with the situation, and we'll try to come together. All of us will come together because we don't agree with this or whatever. So back in the day, it was like travel. We had a different travel. Everywhere you went, the values were different, And we still do that, you know, she was saying the same thing, your conditions, you know, like, I was raised that if somebody said something out of order to me, physically, I started confronting. But as I moved away from that, I learned different. But back when I felt I physically supposed to deal with it, around me felt that way too, you know? So, yeah, I changed, but I changed my environment first. You know? So I do believe the environment really has a whole lot, because when the majority, that's what it's all about. You blend it with the majority. You can't stand the outcast, or you be by yourself and you get, you know, people mass, you know, forms deal with you, you know. So you're not really in control, you know. We follow, we go along with what they tell us. This is what we do here, you know. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, because there's a lot of shit we accept, and we make excuses for accepting it, but we don't accept that shit. You know?
Okay, Brother Larry, thank him. You guys give him a round of applause for his input. What I heard him say, and you guys help me, Larry, I don't want to put words in your mouth. What I heard him say was that the environment can dictate our behavior. Is that what I'm hearing? Hey.
It does. I see it.
The nature-nurture theory. Okay, my question to you would be, how does the environment dictate our behavior?
First of all, I'm going to show you how you know it does. How you say it, your feelings predict, no, your thinking produces your feelings. Now, how do you feel comfortable in an environment that condemns what you do, but you feel you're right? There's friction. There you go. You can't walk around saying, I'm right, y'all wrong. Not wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And how many agree with the fact that the environment dictates your feelings?
I think it does.
Raise your hand if you agree with that. Environment dictates your feelings. Environment dictates your feelings, right? Okay, now.
So now your feelings are starting to dictate your actions.
Oh yeah, well, the rest of it said your feelings are determining your words. Your words are determining your behavior. Your behavior is determining your personality. Because all of this is what we do on a repeated basis. Okay, we think a certain thought. We continue to think that type of thought, which produces those type of feelings, those type of words, those type of behavior, thus our personality. And let's say that my first thought, my initial thought, is that my environment does not dictate my behavior. How does that change the formula? Huh? Who's in control of the team?
The majority.
Is the majority in control of my team?
Yes.
Is what's going on in this room determining what I can choose to think about?
Oh, it's self.
Then if you didn't think that, what would you have?
If I didn't think what?
That you would have done.
What your thought could be, you choose to get along. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, now wait, because I think that...
But your thoughts are not really controlling your actions either. We handcuffed. Actually, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, now, my big brother just made a statement. He just said that we are handcuffed, right? Okay, now I'm not judging. Okay, I want y'all to understand. This is not about a judgment. I'm presenting some information for your observation, and you determine whether or not it fits into you in a way that allows you to make a change in your experience. Now, my brother said that we are handcuffed, right? I'm going to call that a thought. Let's say I start with that thought. Let's say somebody else in the room starts with the thought that we're not handcuffed. If I had a thought that we're handcuffed, and somebody else has the thought that we're not handcuffed, are we going to have the same life experience?
No, we're not.
I know you got a question, I'm sorry.
What's your name? Larry.
I didn't know who you was.
I just want to say, in essence to what Larry said, the key word is conformity. Conformity. The norm conforms to, the majority conforms to the norm, and it's called conformity. So when you change your environment, that's when you see a different thought processes.
But then we talk about culture then, right?
Yeah, you
Okay, let's go. Let's go with this. The environment, the environment that you're in, right? Okay, let's say back in the day, this is hypothetically for real. Let's say that back in the day, I like to smoke weed. This is hypothetically for real. But back in the day, let's say, hypothetically, really, that I like to smoke weed. Let's look at the environment that comes from the thought, I like to smoke weed. Do you think my friends are going to like to smoke weed?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm going to know where to get good weed? I mean, I'm just checking out my environment, right? Okay. Do you think that when I find the good weed, I'm going to want to share it with the good people who like to do the good weed like I do? Okay. Now, let's say that I go hear T.D. Jakes speak, men's conference, and I'm convicted. I no longer like to smoke good weed. Now I have the thought that says, I don't smoke weed. Do you think that I'm still going to hang out with my friends who are of the thought that they like to smoke weed? Do you think that I'm going to know where the good weed sellers are? Do you think that I'm going to frequent the weed seller and hang out with the weed smokers on a regular basis? Do you think that my friendship group will reflect more of my new thinking that says I don't smoke weed, or do you think that I will continue to maintain the same group of friends when I smoke weed?
Yep.
Let me do it a different way. Just I'm coming right there. Let me do it a different way. Let's say you grew up in the neighborhood. None of your friends thought education was important. You believed that education was important. Because I know I got people who smoke weed, but I ain't running with them. I mean, we interact with each other because we in a social environment, but they don't call me when they take a walk. Now I used to get invited, big bro. Yeah, I used to get invited. Hey, Clay, we get ready to take a walk, man. We get ready to take a walk. They look at me now and say, oh, that nigga ain't into this. Ain't no sense in calling him. Now they ain't gonna, wait. You got me, let me start back over. I want to repeat. Nothing I say here is a judgment. I'm not saying that they can't be my friends, but the things that we do are going to be different. When they're doing that, I'm going to be doing this. When we come together on things that we both agree on doing, like a picnic, having a hot dog, roast a marshmallow, we can do all that together. When they get ready to take a walk, I'm not going. Now, let's say that not only your friends, but your family. You are a first generation college student. All right? Now you decide, your thought is, I want to go get an education. That's the T. Now your feelings are in line with that T. Your words, you begin to speak about it. Your behavior, you start to look at colleges. You do different things. And that becomes a part of your new created personality. Now, your personal reality is that you take off for school, right? You go away to school. You go for that first semester, 6 months. You come back from school, you're excited about everything that you've learned and what your experiences are, and you run into Ray Ray, or you run into Shaniqua, your best friend, who decided she wasn't going to college. When you left, you guys were so tight that you could not imagine not doing life together. You come back, you run into Ray Ray. You telling Ray Ray about that algebra teacher that you had and what you found out about doing calculus, and Ray Ray is like, you changed. You changed. And then there becomes some distance put between you and Ray Ray, right? See, what is the cause of the distance between you and Ray Ray? Your thoughts. Ray Ray is still doing what you used to do. And if you go back to thinking like Ray Ray, what's going to happen? You're going to be back where you were with Ray Ray, doing the things that Ray Ray is doing. Okay, hold on. Let me get Chester right here. I'll be right over there.
First of all, I want to thank you, Clay, and this whole dialogue that you all are having. You know, most of us are adults here. We know how to conduct ourselves. And the valuable points that he's bringing out, we just have to apply them. And if we don't apply them, why do we have these discussions? You know, one of the reasons black people fail is that we know what to do, but we don't apply it. You know, you got to put this into application. Even for my life, when I see this brother, and he and I have had different sessions over the year, even with Dr. Lance, you know, I can't keep speaking on changing my lifestyle and I do not display it to somebody else. Huh? We must model the behavior that we want to see if we're going to be the people that we need to be. And really, this is really above us all. When I saw his piece on laws, it's really the universal law that comes first. Because before any of us were born upon this planet coming out of the whole heavenly kingdom, however you want to call it, these things were already put in place. But you got the niggas and the Europeans and whoever, they don't want to go with the order. They want to do what they choose. But I know one thing for sure, the order is going to prevail. See, even when you think about the thought, everything begins with a thought. The Nation of Islam says this. Your Bible says that. But on top of that now, after your thought, you got an attitude about what you was thinking. And then with that attitude, that's going to develop some kind of habit and or lifestyle. Everybody knows this. Like I said, we are adults. We just need to be more compassionate to each other because these persons want us to kill each other, you know, for real. And then you got that self-sabotaging behavior. You committing genocide on your own family, let alone yourself, you know. And as I said, this man and I, when I saw that, I said, I'm going to have to just come and share. You know, we the people. And I don't understand, and I hope you all understand, we came here to live, not to die, you know. So whatever you're practicing, and if you got some people that's practicing death, you need to move your behind away from them, you know. I don't play with this. I turned my life around from drugs 33 years ago. And I was the booger with the sugar to a degree, okay? But at the same time, I knew that I am not immortal. I need to open up to change and be flexible, you know? I put my family at risk. See, we're so selfish, many of us, we want to do it just for us. It ain't about you. It ain't about you, you know? I'm going to die soon. I got some fine grandchildren. I'm putting things in place for them. Don't get me wrong, I did that selfish thing. All that weed, all the rest of that, I did all that. All that out at night, 3, 4, 5, and then got to be to work at 6:30, you know. I did that. I'm no different than anybody. But I just thank my Creator, He just opened my eyes just a little bit so I can get some of what you all discussing, because it all begins with the thought, baby. But then again, like my man Dr. Benjamin E. Mays said, you only got a minute. And there's 60 seconds in it. It is yours to lose or it's yours to use. But you only got a minute. And it's only 60 seconds in it. All right. So let's just take some of this advice so we can be better. Man, I used to ride my bicycle from the Pruitt Idaho projects all the way over here. This ain't the same place. Even the people that we got in office, we need to displace them. When are they gonna bring the money to North St. Louis? Huh? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But we keep not participating. Everything is political, people. And if y'all don't vote and let this other sitting president do what he's been doing, you are accountable. See, we sat down in 2016. We can't do this no more. And even the young people, and even the people that don't want to vote, go pick them up and take them to vote. Things have got to change. We have power of our own change. I want to thank you all.
All right. That brother Chester Deans right there. This brother didn't get a chance to introduce himself. Some of you all know him, but if you don't, that's Chester Deans. He did a fine job with Father Support for years, Father Support Services, and he's still very active in what he's doing right now. My big brother Darryl back there is working with Father Support right now. Is that right? Making a difference.
And Mr. Clay is now Fathers and Families Support Center.
All right.
We got a new signature.
Okay.
And then my organization to support them is Fathers United to Raise Awareness. Because
there you go.
We can't advocate for change. These Europeans think we don't matter, and these Negroes scared to go and talk to them. Because we a man too.
Yeah.
See? We a woman too. Because we deal with the women too.
Right. I like that. It's man and family.
Right.
I like that. Thank you for the update. But I know you guys have been doing a tremendous work for a long time, and I respect and support what you got going on.
I know I didn't talk a lot about what I do, but I am a current board member for the Father Support and Family Center. They do a work that few organizations, if any, before them does, and that's support the fathers. We have a lot of organizations that support mothers and families as a whole, but this organization supports fathers so that families could be supported because it starts with the father. And that is why I got involved with this organization.
All right, y'all. Hey, now let me just say this. Let me say this because I want us to understand at the end of the day, this is the walk-away message that I want us to walk away with.
Okay, brother. What's the message?
The message is simply this. What you think about determines your experience of reality. Okay? What you think about determines your experience of reality. Now, the reason that I went through this formula, it begins with a thought. And thought is going to produce feelings. Those feelings are going to inspire words. Those words are going to inspire action. Then action, this process, we repeat over and over and over and over for years. Like I started in the beginning of this. How many thoughts do we have a day? Between 60 and 70 thoughts a day. All right. How many of them are the same thought that we had the previous day? Over 90, close to 100% of them are the same thought that we had the previous day. Of those thoughts that we think repeatedly over and over and over again, how many of those thoughts are negative? Over 85% of them are negative. We did the math in here and we figured out that if you are 25 years old, you've got close to
540 million.
we got a big number with a B, right? We got a big number with a B. And when we doubled that number got even bigger, right? So what Brother Dean is talking about is the momentum that we're working against, but the momentum that we're working against, and this is what I want you guys to get, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, the momentum that we're working with is never outside of us.
It's an inside.
See, the obstacle that you're fighting is the fact that I'm not good enough. How many times you thought that? See, the obstacle that you're fighting against is that we can't make change. I don't have good relationships? Why do I always attract the wrong people? How many times have you thought that? See, I'll never make a lot of money. I'm just going to live the simple life. These are cop-out answers to me. I'm going to live the simple life. I don't need much. See, you're born into greatness, but you dumb down your greatness to a place that allows you to be comfortable with the 80% of the billions of thoughts that you've had from the beginning that's producing what? Your personal reality. See, your personality is nothing but the uniform that allows you to have the personal reality that you do. Your personality, this is what I'm going to say, it's going to shake some of y'all up.
Say it again.
Your personality was created by you. Your personality was created by you. Let me give you some of this behavioral and social sciences stuff real quick, because I want y'all to walk away with this, right? First 7 years of your life, it is reported by science that you're nothing but a sponge. You're only absorbing what's going on in your environment. Let's say your environment was negative. 7 years old, what kind of sponge are you? See, this is where it gets into the nature thing and the nurture thing. See, because you're born as a blank slate, but for the first 7 years, you are recording what's going on around you and the information that everybody else in your environment is pouring into you. Now, what I want to say to you is after that 7 years, if you're not aware of this information and you're 37 years old now, you've had 37 years where you have never had a thought of your own. Y'all didn't hear me. Because you made somebody else's thoughts your thoughts. See, in the beginning was thought, right? That first 7 years, you got nothing but somebody else's thoughts, which produced in you feelings that came from somebody else's thoughts, which produced words. That's why they say you speak just like your auntie. Girl, you act just like Irma Jean. You just like your daddy, boy. And we get proud of that. See, and your behavior comes from somebody else's thought. Then your personality that you think is you, that you identify with as yourself, came from somebody else's thoughts. And your personal reality is based on somebody else's thoughts. What I want to do today, what I want us to walk away with today, is the understanding that whatever your life is right now, whatever your experience of life is right now, whatever interactions or type of interactions you're having with anyone right now, and more importantly, who do you think you talk to more than anybody else in the world?
Yourself.
Yourself. Your self-dialogue. I want you to examine what you have been saying to yourself about yourself. Because you will never, like a thermostat, wherever you set the temperature of who you are, if you set it at 72, if it gets warmer in the room, the air is going to kick on to boost it back up. If it goes the other way, the heat will kick on to boost it back down. You set the thermostat of your life by this right here. My question to you is, are the thoughts that are ruling, controlling, and running your life, are they yours?
Yes.
Are they yours? See, where did you learn what you learned about yourself? You got to seriously ask yourself this question.
Sure.
See, what did you learn about you? You failed one day when you were 3 years old and they said, stop crying like a little girl. You formed a self-identity that says that if I fall, I'm supposed to cry. Somebody else told you that's how you act. Where did you learn how ladies are supposed to act. Somebody told you that. Where'd you learn how men are supposed to act? Somebody told you that. What I want you to understand is that it is time now for the genesis of your new life by redefining and recreating everything about you, beginning with your thoughts about everything that you think every day. Does it make sense?
Makes sense.
Y'all with me? Okay, I'll be right there, D.
You know, when I think of thoughts, a thought starts out very, very strong, maybe 100%. But then when you apply that thought, it comes down to being analytical or evaluating what your environment is. And I evaluate to have a negative environment. But if I don't start my thought with a purpose before I even analyze my environment, then my thought continues to get watered down. You know, when I evaluate what my environment is like, I define it as negative versus saying, okay, I analyze, I say, I want this to be a positive outcome. And then I look at my environment and realize that my environment is negative, right? Because our evaluation is our reality. It's something we don't control. If it's negative, it's negative. It's not my opinion. It is what it is. But how I approach it, since I initially said that this is going to be a positive experience, then I can control how my thought is watered down by how I apply it. You know, I'm going to turn this negative environment into a positive environment, whether I decide to do training or lead by example, whatever my execution is. Because we can't control what we see or how things are, but we can control how we go about approaching it.
Yes, sir.
And
all right, just give them a little, okay. Now, what I want to say to that is, I've heard throughout this discussion, and like I said, this is not a judgment, but I want to present some information because what I'm about is putting us back in the driver's seat, right? Now, I've heard that we can't control our environment. I've heard we can't control our environment. And I've heard over the years, not just in this room, over the years, that it's not what happens to me, but it's how I respond to it. If I go to church tomorrow, today is Sunday, if I go to church today, if I stand up and say something like that, I'm going to get an amen. I'm going to get an amen. Because we've been taught that it's not what happens out there, it's how you respond to it. It's not the flat tire you get, it's how you respond to the flat tire. It's not the bad person's behavior, it's how you respond to the bad person's behavior. What I want to do is destroy that right now. And I want to say that in your life, you will never have an experience in your life that is not a representation of the thoughts you have within your head. I need you to hear me. You will never have an experience in your life that is not a match for the continuous thoughts that you have in your head. What do I mean by that? You get up in the morning and you stub your toe on the edge of the bed, right? And you think, this is going to be a terrible day. Now you spill your coffee on your new suit when you get in the car. All the lights are red. The person that gets in front of you is doing 2 miles an hour. They have nothing to learn. And what you're thinking at that time is a new reinforcement of that same thought that this is going to be a terrible day. You believe that those circumstances came about because the devil is busy. The devil's a lie, right? The devil's a lie. He's not going to steal my joy this morning, right? That sounds like a positive statement, right? I want to talk to you about how we use positive statements in a negative way. If I say that the devil is a lie and he's not going to steal my joy this morning, right? What am I really saying? My focus is on the fact that I'm not joyful right now. So because my life experience is going to mirror my thinking, then I'm going to get an experience that matches my focus. So what I want to say to you, and I'm going to give you this for free. This is $1 million worth of advice right here, Tim. This is going to change your whole life. I'm going to give it to you for free. What I want to say to you is that if you view every situation in your life as a mirror that is reflecting your thoughts back to you, then you will see that when you're in a good place, your environment will be good. When you're mentally in a bad place, your environment will be bad. When you are meeting those nasty, angry, uncaring people, you have the thought that is producing those situations in your life. You are the center of your life experience. Are you feeling me? Everybody all right? Okay, because I want you to leave now. When you come home and you say, I'm going to have a good day when I walk in the house, I'm not going to argue with this man. I don't care what he do, I'm going to have a good evening. We're not going to have a bad evening. Where's your focus? See, it sounds like you're saying something good, right? But in order for you to say that, you got to be thinking that we probably going to have a bad evening. Right? So you walk in the house and what happens? What you do with the checkbook? It's where it all is. What you do about the trash? Okay, what happened to the I'm not going to have an argument when I walk in the house? Now you think it's because of them. If they wouldn't have said that, you wouldn't have said what you said, right? But if you understand that everything that happens in your life is a mirror image of the type of thinking that you have going on continuously in your head, then all of this will make sense to you. You'll understand why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. See, when Brother Elan is doing his thing, he ain't around no nickel and dime, brother. He got folks that own jets. But he's not around people who are doing big things because he's just around people who are doing big things. He's around people who are doing big things because his thoughts are big. His thoughts were big at Scullin. Scullin Elementary, his thoughts were big at Northwest High School. For him to be doing what he's doing right now is an absolute testimony of the truth that I'm speaking to you right now, I believe.
You're a scholar of your thoughts. Yes, sir.
See? So you're creating your environment. When you walk into an environment that you think is not right, don't look at the environment, look at you. Because you can walk into, I could have walked into this room and you all could have been in here just arguing, fighting, and upset. But because my energy when I come in this room is going to be positive and uplifting, guess what's going to happen for me in this room? I'm not going to know this. I'm not going to see it. Because I'm on a different page. Do you think people love to see Chester Deans? Come on, I do. But everybody don't. But do you think Chester sees that? No, because his help coming from where? See, he's got a different thought. So his experience is going to be different. It's not them, it's you. It's not her, it's you. It's not him, it's you. It's your thinking that's determining your experience of life.
I just wanted to add to what you were saying. And with the thought process, you know, we have the control and opportunity to control what we put in here. That's going to be influenced in our thoughts. If you have a lustful mind and you keep listening and watching things related to lust, you'll keep having lustful thoughts. So if you want to clean up your thought process, you got to clean up what you're letting into your environment through your eyes and through your ears, because that will have an impact on what's going to come through your mind. So we have to turn off some of that crazy stuff on TV. We have to turn off some of that crazy stuff that they play on the radio. I mean, there's plenty of negativity out here in this world to influence our minds in the wrong way. So we even have control over what we intake in our environments to make sure that we have better thought processes.
Absolutely. Y'all give them a round of applause for that information. Okay, is everybody all right? Because we're right at the end of this now, okay? We're at the end of this. Did you get something out of this?
Yes, sir.
Was this helpful for anybody?
Save my shrink bill.
Brother said I saved his shrink bill. Hey, but what we want to do, see, what I want is for each of us to be back in the driver's seat. When I told you about your relationship being focused on you, if you're in love with somebody, the first person you got to learn to love is who?
Yourself.
You got to be 100% dedicated to self-love, right? And if your significant other is 100% dedicated to self-love, then we got two loving people who are having a loving interaction with each other that are not in need of anything from each other. Not emotionally, not mentally, not psychologically. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so when we have that scenario, then we counteract the need to control somebody else's behavior. The only reason you want to control somebody else's behavior is because they're triggering something in you that makes you feel bad about yourself, and if you can get them to stop, you'll feel better. But if you already felt better, well, you wouldn't care what they did, because it wouldn't have an impact on you. See, when you got two full glasses, can you put any more water in either one of them? When you got people talking about this romantic stuff about I'm in love with him because he completes me, I already know that's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe. It sounds good. I'm in love with, I know I'm with the right person, girl, because we love to do everything exactly the same. Then you should have married you.
Well said, Clay.
See, because I want the person that I'm with to want to do something different than what I do. You see what I'm saying? If I'm a baseball team, if I'm a good first baseman, I don't want to play third. I want my third baseman to be good. See, so I want every member on my team firing at 100% all the time, because when you're firing at 100%, then we got 100% of the energy that comes from us together, and the total is more powerful than the sum of its parts.
Always.
Make sense?
Always.
See, so I need you firing at 100%. If you tell me, you know what? Girl, you my friend, I love talking to you because you always listen to my problems. What I want you to do with that person right now is get away from them. See, because they came to dump negativity into your life. And you don't have room for that because you're a positive vessel. This is why these things are said to us about if there be any virtue in these things, think on these good things.
Yes.
Does it also say that it all works together for the good? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? I just want to share this because I'm finishing this, but I want you to walk away with something you can hold on to. How does everything in life work together for the good? Let's say you had an argument. Let's say, Timmy, you had an argument with somebody. Immediately after that argument, what do you start to do? Is it fair to say you start thinking about what you could have done different? All right, move yourself.
Yeah, that's if in your right mind, if you're thinking positive, you want to remove yourself from the situation.
Yes.
Because if you stay in that hostility, it
Breeds more hostility. Yes.
more hostility.
Yeah. So after you've removed yourself, then what?
You think about what you could have done better, or, you know, if that person was right about what they did or said, and then you kind of analyze what the situation would have been, could have been, should have been, why is this, why is that.
How it could have played out different, right? So what you're starting to do is formulate a what? A different thought that came as a result of what some people would call a negative experience, right? So if you view everything that happens in your life as a thought adjustment opportunity, then anything that shows up gives you the opportunity to adjust your thinking about it. So therefore, the negative thing that was described as negative before now became the stepping stool to the new way of thinking that you now possess because of that, and now you're going to create a new experience with the new thought. Does that make sense? All things work together for good. Now, if I view it like that, then can I do what? Can I count it all joy? Does the scripture say that? That's exactly how you count it all joy. If everything is working for your good, then everything is a joyful experience. The only reason we have negative and positive terminology is because we want to have the understanding that distinguishes one thing from another. But when you understand that it's all good, then everything that's happening is all good. Make sense? All right, y'all good? All right. What I want to do is I want y'all to bring me to your groups, organizations, clubs, meetings that you all have at home. Doesn't matter to me. I want to be instrumental in putting out information that causes us to understand that life is good and is good all the time. Okay? So, I got my information. I'm on Facebook. Some of y'all might not know this, but I put out a thought from Clay every day. Y'all might not know that. And in case y'all don't get the thought, I might follow it up with a video. Y'all might not know that either. But every day, it's the same, I'm saying the same message every day. What you think about becomes your experience. What you think about, what is the purpose of life? This is the last thing I'm going to say to you, unless you guys have something else. The purpose of life is joy. The purpose of life is happiness. Let me tell you what I mean by that as I wrap this up. The only reason that you pursue anything that you pursue in your life is because you believe that if you had it, it would make you feel better. Let that soak in. The only reason you want the good job, to belong to the right organization, to know the right people, to have the right bank account, to live in the right neighborhood, to be married to the right person, the only reason that you pursue any of that is because you believe that if you had it, you would feel better. But guess what we learned today? That your feelings come from what? When can you feel better? When can that happen? Do you need any stuff for that to happen? Do you need anybody for that to happen? Do you need to own anything, be anything, go anywhere, do anything in order for you to think good thoughts that make you feel good? Do you need anything else other than a change of thought? When you understand that, all of these things, that's what I call the Clay King version of seeking first the kingdom. Where's the kingdom located? If the kingdom is located inside, I already have it, right? The only thing that's stopping me from having an experience in the kingdom is what? Because as you think, so it is, right? What made you whole today? See, your belief. What are beliefs? Thoughts that you continue to think. So the kingdom is within you. You live the kingdom every day because you think the thoughts that keep the kingdom flowing from where? If you wait on conditions to change and you think based on the condition or the environment you're in, then you're going to think more thoughts that are based on the environment, and you're going to get more what? More of the same environment. That's why you keep picking the wrong person. It's not you picking the wrong person, it's you being the wrong person. When you're the right person will show up in your life. That's why it says, and all these things will be what? Added unto you. All right, this is it. I'm done, y'all. I got one more. My brother got a quote right here. He got a question. But I'm done.
No, but I want to say that my grandmother told me, she said, God is in you. And she said, what did I say this? God is happy. God is in you. When you're at play, you're happy. So be happy. You know God is in you.
Thank y'all for coming out. I love y'all dearly. I love y'all dearly. This would not have been the same without y'all. I certainly appreciate every one of y'all. Thank y'all. Best audience in the world.